We're in a lovely location in suburban Silicon Valley, Palo Alto, but boy, it sure is tough to get here with public transit. Johnny, you sure know about that as CEO of Swiftly, right?
Yep.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your app, and that'll lead to a conversation.
Of course. So we optimize how people get from A to B by looking at real-time public and private modes of transportation. So one of the things that we spend a lot of time thinking about is public transportation, and we've developed our own algorithms to predict more accurately when buses will arrive at bus stops or when trains will arrive, like Caltrain, at the nearest station. So we use all of this real-time information and then blend it with other data sources from our users, from Twitter, and from private transportation providers like Uber, hopefully soon to be Lyft, Scoot, which provides electric scooters in San Francisco. And we take these modes and then we optimize how you get from A to B.
And so the crowdsourcing is very fascinating. Is that where you're getting the majority of your information as far as where the buses are, when they're going to get there, et cetera?
So we get, as far as real-time arrival predictions, most of that information comes from GPS units that are either already on buses or units that we can install. But the crowdsourcing component is really important in terms of finding advisories or transportation issues, and users will report delays or collisions, and those will be reported in the app usually before they show up on Twitter. So it's the fastest way to know, hopefully, and avoid what's wrong with transit and when some issue occurs.
Now, one of the things that's fascinating about that as far as the non-crowdsourcing is you have to get that information from the transit agencies. Is that a challenge?
It definitely is a challenge. So luckily, most transit agencies in the US have the raw data we need to be able to model out how the system works and then to generate our own arrival predictions. But there are certainly some agencies that don't, and a lot of smaller cities that previously have not been able to afford real-time information or GPS trackers. And so what we've done in those cases is we've developed a new product that offers real-time information at a small fraction of the cost of traditional vendors, typically anywhere between 10 and 30% of the cost. And so we can bring these cities online and provide real-time information to the residents in a way that they've never had it before.
So what have you seen in terms of uptake as far as usage and that sort of thing of the actual transit system?
Yeah, so in San Francisco, we launched without actually doing any marketing, and organically in the last year we've grown to over 50,000 users. So that's over 10% of the transit commuter user base. And so that's happened really quickly just through word of mouth, and now given that we see exceptionally high retention and really high engagement, in fact, our users typically open the app about 31.6 times per month, so it's more than once every day. And so now we're starting to expand to other cities.
So how do you monetize it?
Great question. Couple different ways. So we do provide a lot of services to cities. So when we power real-time information or the official mobile app, obviously we charge a fee for that service as we bring the city online. But our app also unlocks a wide variety of other data sets, and there are several private companies that are interested in that data. And so we work with private companies to help them understand where are people traveling from and to, how much are they paying for transit today, and how we can create new mobility services that might fill in the gaps that we're observing through our data.
And so integrating other kinds of feeds into that data to really make it richer, do you do that as well?
We do all of that, yeah. It's not easy, but each mode has its own set of challenges. So with public transit, one of the things we found is that the real-time arrivals at a bus stop sign are typically not very accurate, so we designed our own algorithm to more accurately predict when the bus will arrive. But then we have to mix that information in with real-time feeds from Uber and Lyft and hopefully taxis and Scoot. And so each mode has its own set of challenges, and the way we typically tackle it is one mode at a time.
From a user's perspective, they can see what is the most efficient way of getting from A to B, I suppose?
Yeah, what we've observed is users care most about the travel time and price. And so we try to provide both of those sets of information, but based on real-time data. So if Uber is surging, for example, that will be factored into the price. Likewise, if there's a delay on transit or the bus is not going to arrive for 5 minutes, that will also be factored in the overall trip duration. So we do that for each mode as we integrate them into the app.
And then I would imagine too, if you're a customer, you don't want to go out of your app and then have to go into another app or 5 other apps, right?
Yeah, so we'll bring all the information together into a single app, and then if, for example, you were to book an Uber ride, we will deep link you directly into the Uber app. So once you click Uber within our app, Uber app will open on your phone, but the destination that you're going to will be pre-selected. So all you do is request a ride and a vehicle will arrive.
Nice. So it works well with other apps, it sounds like.
It's very smooth. Ideally, we want to even make it more and more seamless as we start to expand our operation, but I think we've done a pretty good job so far.
So what's next for the expansion?
So actually this week we launched in Portland, and then Denver is coming later this week, and next week is going to be Vancouver. So we're adding cities, hopefully about one a week now, as we look to expand. So we've been collecting a variety of transportation data sets for over 20 cities, both in the U.S. and Canada, and our algorithms model out how those cities work, how they move, and that's allowing us to expand really quickly now into new markets.
Excellent. Well, I wish you luck in your expansion.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.